What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Ask Sir Love. And thank you very much for your time, your energy, and your patience because I've been not gone, but I've been slow for the past 2 weeks. And it's because I've been trying to put a bow on that Viacom deal. You guys know the one I've been talking about. We finally put a bow on it. It is the first. It was due the 31st, and it has been submitted. I sent emails to just about everyone that submitted, and if you did not get an email from me, you will be getting one, letting you know that obviously, if you don't know by now, that you were not selected. There were so many selections that came in, but I thank all of you for your selections. With that said, there are people that are watching this right now that may not know what I'm talking about. That's fine. If you keep rocking with me in the future, you'll get opportunities like the ones I've offered my audience as well in the future. So let's keep it going. On the show, we answer questions. This question says, "Hey, Sir Love, can you do a video on if you need a music manager and at what point is one needed?" And this comes from Trey Avalon. I've done a lot of content, or Avalon, sorry. I've done a lot of content on managers and the role of managers. I wrote a whole book on it. It's available on the website, www.phasevi.com, where I really broke down how to start in management, right? But to get to your question, when do you need a manager? And if you need a manager is a very different question. So, do you need a manager? In my humble opinion, the answer is 100% yes. Yes, in all circumstances, all scenarios, always. The question really is the title and the type of work that's being used here. So, you recently have heard people like Russ and people like Kanye West come out and say that, artists don't need, managers, right? Kanye West said this in the sense that artists don't need managers. Instead, they should have presidents and CEOs and things of that nature, which if you watched any of my previous content, you know that I've been saying for a long time. I'm 100% aligned with that. And that's honestly how, people like Beyonce and Jay-Z and all of them, that's how they run their careers at that level. Because as an artist, you are a brand and your brand is generating revenue through multiple different streams. And having a president of your company would make more sense because that's pretty much what you're asking a manager to do. All right. However, that's at scale. What we're really seeing is that artists typically need and want and pursuing managers when they're growing, when they're independent, when they haven't gotten projects out, when they really haven't seen the success. And at that level of your career, a manager is pretty critical, unless you have Russ's point of view, which I'm going to talk about too before I get to mine. In Russ's point of view, he feels that you should be your own manager. He feels that you should learn all the skill sets required to build your own audience, negotiate your own shows, work with booking agents, build your own team, etc., etc. And then you'll never need a manager. There'll never be someone taking 20% because you'll be the person that negotiates and deals with all of your business on your own behalf. All right. Now that you got both of those point of views when it comes to Russ, I agree with Russ in some scenarios. So let me break this down for you, Trey, because the answer is going to be different for everyone and different for you depending on, who you are and how you're built. All right. Number one, if you're a pure creative person, you're a person that's not really into contracts, like you don't like reading. If you're a person that doesn't like reading or a person that doesn't want to go through the process of learning legal content, legal context, you're likely going to have a manager because that manager is going to work with your lawyer. Or maybe you say, okay, skip manager, let's just get a lawyer. Well, if you're the type of person that says, I don't want to deal with business and go through the negotiation processes with all these different people, such as booking agents and merchandising people and all the people involved in signing contracts, right? Then you're going to be spending a lot of money with your lawyer dealing with contracts that you should be able to deal with on your own. So if you're a person that's really not into the education side of legal agreements, yeah, you need to get a manager, and eventually your manager is going to get you a lawyer, right? Or you are going to get a lawyer because you and your manager should have a different attorney. All right, let's keep this line of thought going on. If you're the type of person that says, hey, I want to focus on the music, right? You like to focus on the things that you're strong at and you don't really want to focus on a lot of other areas. Yeah, you're going to need a manager. Not only are you going to need a manager, but you're also going to need a whole team because you don't like doing your social media. You don't like doing all this marketing. There's a lot of other pieces that you may not like to do. You may have gotten comfortable with things that you like to do. In short, as an artist, you always need a manager when there are gaps in all the areas required for success. What areas may I be talking about? Marketing planning, right? The planning, execution, and marketing. Leadership when it comes to team, team management and leading the team. Finances when it comes to organizing resources and finances and making sure that everything is paid on time and that you're making the right investments, this, that, and the third, right? Team building, putting the team together that's going to be required to actually get you out there. Booking, right? The people that actually get you shows and things of that nature. Publishing, all the paperwork associated with, let's say publishing administration, all the paperwork related to actually getting your records registered with all the right places and all the right people, right? Then maybe publishing, a person that's actually reaching out to licensors and publishing entities that's actually trying to get your work out there and get you more money. Merchandising, we're at 8 now. Merchandising, right? That's an area where you're required to figure out how you're going to monetize your brand through t-shirts, hats, or poetry, or physical art, or other ways of generating creative content around your brand. If you do not want to do all of these things, manage all these things, create all these things, and they all don't have to happen at the same time. They happen, in steps. You get better and better and better over time. Then you are going to need a manager, right? So the question is, do you need a manager? For most people, the answer is yes. Russ was a different creature. I've actually met a couple other people that are different creatures. What's the guy's name? Used to be in, he had that song, Yeah, I'm Hot and I'm bad. If you don't like it, you can kiss my ass. And I'm smooth and I'm cool and I'm about to act a motherfucking fool. Damn, what's his name? He was in this group. Then the group broke up, and then he went solo. Forgot his name. God darn, I'm sorry, bro. If you're watching this, I forgot. I forgot. He went same high school as me, and I forgot. It's just not. It's been a long day. Anyway, I met this brother, and this brother does everything. This brother writes the records. He can get in the studio, engineer himself. He can make his own beats. He can mix his own records. He can shoot his own videos. He can edit the video footage after he shoots his videos. He runs the social media. He does Photoshop and gets pictures done and edits his own photos. I mean, he can do everything, right? And there were a lot of artists that used to come to the studio and look at this guy and go, yo, man, if only I could be more like you, big bro. I can't do it like you, right? It's a lot of work, a lot of skills, a lot of time, right? That's the path that Russ took. If you're that type of individual, by all means, push forward. And when would the time frame be that you need to start looking at a manager? At the point in which all those other extracurricular activities, or not extracurricular, but all those other time-demanding activities start encroaching upon your ability to be proficient, right? As an artist at the beginning of your career, you have time. You got all this time in the world. You're probably BSing your time and not using your time effectively. Therefore, you're not getting stuff done. But if you're a person that's focused on your career for 8 to 10 hours out the day, and you get to the point where there's not enough time in a day to get stuff done, then you have to start building your team and then managing your team, and you can be your own boss and be your own manager. At that point in time, maybe you start saying, I can't manage all these people and do all these things. You may look into getting a manager, all right? If you're on the other side, the most common side, the side that most artists are on, the side that you probably asked this question regarding, the time frame for which you need a manager is when you get to the point where there's enough content to manage, right? Meaning, if you had a manager today, what the fuck would they be doing, right? If the answer is make me famous, make me hot, get me signed, then you probably don't need a manager. You want a manager, and in that process, you'd have to find a manager that feels like you're worth the long-term investment. You're most likely not going to get a manager that's pre-established and already broken a bunch of acts. You're most likely going to get a manager that wants to be the next future super manager and is willing to take a risk on you because you don't already have the assets required to move in a manner that requires management. All right. So if you have a lot of things going on, those 8 things that I mentioned, all those things are happening at the same time, you're a prime candidate for a manager. A manager will come in, there's something to manage. You're probably already generating money, or you have a huge potential to generate money within 3 to 6 months of them touching your career. There's so much going on. Maybe you don't understand how to monetize it correctly. A manager comes in, figures out how to monetize all these different areas, and they can make money immediately, right? Or you're an artist that's already making money, but you can't handle everything, so you're basically paying someone to come in and handle these things. The manager comes in, you're already making money, 20% out the gate. They're like, great, let's do it. All right? If you're on the other side of the spectrum and you're like, man, I just need help in my career, I'm just trying to win, then you're really not looking for a manager that's pre-established. You're looking for someone that is hungry and really wants to be a manager. You're on the scene, right? Looking at other people that are trying to be managers, that are working as assistants, that are interning, right? You're going to these types of individuals and you're trying to see if they want to be a manager, because if they see the potential in you, they'll take a longer risk. They'll look at potential as 5 years from now. Whereas the manager that's pre-established is looking at within a year, what can I do? And if your brand is just isn't there yet, there's some point in time where you can be as talented as you want to be, but within a year, I can't generate revenue, which means me as a manager, if I come in to manage you, I'm going to lose every hour, which is associated with the dollar, and add that up. Every hour, minute, second I spend on you, I'm throwing money typically in the trash at this moment, right? I'm not going to make this money back no time soon. It's a long-term investment. I could take the exact same time and go do a quicker flip, find an artist that's more established than you, that got more going on than you, and in the same time frame, I could break 3 artists in the same time it might take me to break you 1 time. And then you can say, well, what if I'm bigger than all 3 of those artists? We don't know. How do we know? I got 3 options over here that just may work, right? One of them may work. I got a 1 out of 3 chance over here, and I don't know what type of chance I have with you, right? So this is how that works. At what point is one needed? Again, a manager is needed when you get to the point where there are so many activities, so many inbound, incoming activities that are happening due to the success of your career that you need someone to manage it, all right? And if you need a manager at all, it depends on your ability to manage all these different things. And for most artists, they cannot do that. And if you have a good manager, and watch all my older videos on managers, please, if you're new to the show, do not allow this video to be your only representation of me and management. I am looking to give value that I haven't already given. I've probably done 20 videos on management, speaking of it in different angles. And now in this particular video, I'm giving it to you in a way that I've not given it before, touching this particular point. So, train. Go to my site. Go to YouTube if you're on YouTube, right? And I'll show you how to get there. You're on my channel, right? You go right here. Boom, 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 boom. Let this load up. If you have it full screen, then you'll see it. If you're on mobile or similar, let's cut this guy off. Let's go over to the right. And there's this button that says search. And if you type in manager, right, in the search, then boom, the first thing that comes up, 77,000 views, is Music Management 101, manager side hustles, manage how to get money as a manager, firing a music manager, never do this as a music manager, how to find a music manager, should my friend be my manager, when choosing a manager goes wrong, is the manager the investor, all sorts of should I do a deal, how often do you talk to your manager, manager 102, manager 103. The list goes on and on, all right? There's a lot of content that on my channel about managers, so please go consume that content. It'll help you get more clarity on this particular question. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was beneficial. I don't know everything, but I know a lot about a little bit about a lot. I'm always trying to give you guys everything that I got, and right now, the subscribe button is on your screen. Click it, click it, click it. I got a meeting to hop to in 3 minutes, so I'm out, y'all.